These people, what's going on? This is Boogie from Boogie's Place Hood Talk on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And listen, man, I came across a story the other day that really touched me because I lived through it and I was there. And it was that shit was crazy, man. It was we had a cat. His name was Oozie Delroy. They used to call him Oozie Delroy. His name was Delroy. And there's a story. It's a crazy story, and I'm about to get into it, man. Because those of you who know me from way back when in Brooklyn and grew up together, they all know this story. So we're gonna dig into this my crate. You know how we do it. Boogie's Place, Hood Talk. We're gonna talk about it. Yes, sir. Again. This is Boogie from Boogie's Place Hood Talk on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you like the content, please like, subscribe, comment, man. So I want to get into the story because I seen it on the internet the other day and it kind of touched me because I lived through the shit. And we had a cat in our area called Oozie Delroy. And this is when the crack era first came out. Oozie Delroy honestly was like the first one who brung crack into Brooklyn. So the backstory is, from what I know, this is what I know. One, Oozie Delroy came from Kingston, Jamaica in 1985. I remember, anybody who know me know I'm not lying. He had a store on Rogers and Lincoln. His pops owned a weed spot on Rogers and Lincoln. And that weed spot, it was just his pops. Nobody knew about Delroy at this time. It was just his pop's name was Becky. And Becky used to always have weed. And way back when, I'm talking about in the 80s. And way back when, you know, I used to smoke a lot of weed and shit like that. And they would have these every 4 years, you know, the government would do some bullshit with the drugs. And so a lot of times we couldn't get no weed. But Becky always had weed. This is what mine. So after a couple of years go by, and the next thing you know, Becky, the old Jamaican man, gets killed in the store. Somebody offs him. We have a pretty good idea of who offed him, but I'm not going to say no names in this video to preserve whatever. Anyway, a couple of brothers from around the way, we found out, off Becky in the store. Now, Becky is gone. His son comes from Jamaica. His son, Delroy, comes from Jamaica. Now, Delroy was living in Kingston, Jamaica. Now, I'm going to give you some stuff that I seen in the video, some backstory. Delroy was living in Kingston, Jamaica. Delroy was a part of the JP posse down there in Kingston, Jamaica. And this is at a time when the government would hire people to basically try to sway the people to voting for them. They used the JP posse. So Delroy was already a gunman down there in Jamaica. At this time, he had to have been about 27, 28 years old, because when he came to Brooklyn, he was like 30. When he finally got put away, he was 30 years old. So Delroy, down in Jamaica, was basically a hitman. He was already known for carrying an Uzi. That's where he got his name from, Oozie Delroy. I guess from what they say, that he always carried it. It was always on him, and that's what he carried out his murders with down there in Jamaica. So once his pops died, he wound up coming up here and taking over the store. Now, Delroy already had connections. He had connections with people down in Jamaica, and he already had a posse. And their posse was ruthless. You know, down in Jamaica, they get it in, man. They don't bullshit when it comes down to the elections and warring against each other, man. They get it in. And he wound up coming up here on an illegal visa, and he took over the store. And when Delroy first took over the store, he was unknown to the neighborhood. Nobody knew him. Eventually, Delroy started selling the weed. He had connections from Jamaica, I'm assuming, because he always had the best weed in town. And he made a lot of fucking money with the weed. And then the next thing you know, he started bringing his peoples from Jamaica, his posse. They all coming in illegally. They all gunmen. They all putting it down. He bringing them one by one from Jamaica. Next thing you know, that corner of Rogers and Lincoln, it was Jamaican land. But they always stayed in their lane. They just stayed in the store. They didn't fuck with nobody. Now, Delroy was a crazy motherfucker. We heard so many stories about this dude around the way, man. I mean, he was offing people left and right. When he finally got arrested, they pinned like 6 murders on him, but he had much, much more. And Delroy was the type of person, when he first came up, like I said, he was selling the weed. And then, like I said earlier in the video, he was the first one of the first ones to get a hold of crack. And once he started selling that crack, our neighborhood went to shit. We had lines all the way around the corner. I mean, literal lines. Like, people were waiting to get into an event. Cops didn't fucking fuck with him. I guess I'm assuming he was paying them all. Delroy started making cheddar. That man started making cheese, bro. So you had the spot in Crown Heights. Then he ventured out into Flatbush. Then he ventured out into Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy. Then he moved out to Philadelphia. He had spots in Philadelphia. He had spots in Baltimore. And he had spots in Washington. So this motherfucker just branched out all over. And he had bread. This dude sold so much crack, man. It was a fucking shame. But the worst of it is, his people was thirsty. They didn't give a shit. They was about money, and they was about taking over whatever they could take over. And Delroy, like I said in the beginning, was a devious motherfucker. He would shoot a motherfucker on the spot. I mean, one time I was there, and we shot we had a club called Love People. Big club called Love People, where all the Jamaicans used to hang out. It's nice little club. Always some shit popping off over there. Delroy in there with his wife, and the Delroy fucking shoots the dude because he wouldn't give him enough room to dance. And that's some bops. That's the type of dude he was. That's the type of shit he was on. He took a friend of mine who started working for him, asking for a job. A friend of mine, I'm not going to say no names, but a friend of mine fucked up some money. Fucked up his money. He took the dude, took him down in the basement, kept him down there for like 3 or 4 days, beat him the fuck up, shaved his eyebrows, shaved his... It's not funny. He shaved the dude's eyebrows, shaved his... So he had nothing. His hair was bald. He had no eyebrows. He had no hair, no facial hair. And that was like his punishment. He got lucky. Because normally Delroy would maim a motherfucker. You take some money from him, he was on it where either he was going to maim you or he was going to off you. He set one kid on fire because they took his money. He took another kid and hung him, beat him with a baseball bat and hung him from the ceiling for everybody to see. So Delroy was a ruthless motherfucker. And when it came down to money, what he was doing was he was ordering. It was like they were organized. He was the top, and once he put out an order, that was it. And so he would put out an order. If he wanted a spot, his order was anybody on that corner who looked Jamaican, you off them. You plug them. You off them. That was his motto. And for a while, for a good 5 years, man, he had a good 5-year run. I mean, we had a little shack around the corner next to the store. He wound up buying the store and turned the shack into a cab service. The cab service, you go around the fucking corner on Lincoln Place, it was nothing but Benz and Bentleys and Porsches and Mercedes and all kind of shit. He had a $500,000 Mercedes just sitting on the block. He had $1 million house in Long Island. A friend of mine went out of state with him. A very close friend of mine. I didn't fuck with him. I didn't deal with all that bullshit. But I had a friend of mine who was into that shit and went out of state with him and came back flossing. So the man, he didn't stay with him. He didn't. But the man was that shit that we lived through, man. It was insane, bro. We had crackheads. I mean, if you guys know what the 80s was like, that shit started. One of the places hard was in our area. You can go to any TV, you can go to any YouTube and pull them up. Oozie Delroy from Brooklyn, and you'll get the whole full-fledged story. So when he got arrested in the 90s, he got arrested sometime in the 90s. I even wind up seeing him when I got locked up. We crossed paths. He was already locked up. He was already, I'm going back and forth court. We crossed paths. I knew him very well. Like, honestly, a friend of mine who's Jamaican, and being that he's Jamaican, Jamaican associated with Jamaican, my man, he kind of a wild dude, and Delroy took a liking to him. So Delroy used to always give him a lot of drugs. I used to do a lot of coke back then, and he used to give him a lot of coke. We didn't even know we didn't know nothing about selling it. We were just fucking stupid and sniffing fucking mag, Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, man. Long story short, wind this down. Delroy finally gets caught, goes to the pen. They hit him up in the 90s. They get him on 6 murders. He got like 42 counts. He had like 42 counts, man. He had like 6 murders, 17 assaults, 1 maim. The guy that he set on fire, he maimed him. He's done for life. Burnt him to a crisp. And he, like I said, 17 assaults, 42 counts. And in the end, the man got sentenced to 7 consecutive years. 7 life sentences. 7 life sentences. He was a fucking menace. When I tell you he was a menace to Brooklyn, that man was a menace. Every other week, if you watch the thing on YouTube, every other week he pow, 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 offing somebody, shooting at somebody, killing somebody. And I'm talking every other week, every other month. Delroy over here, 29, send the pocket, pow. Delroy over here, spot, pow. And they finally got him. The ATF and the DEA. Because after a while, it wasn't just Delroy. They had another. I tell you, Delroy was with the. Delroy came up when he was in Jamaica. He was with the JP posse, the Jamaican posse. When he came up here, the Jamaican posse turned into the Rankers. The Rankers, that was their name, the Rankers. So when they came up to America, they changed from the JP posse to the Rankers. And the Rankers was warring. They were warring with another posse that came from Jamaica right after or around the same time. I think there's another posse, the 40 posse. I can't remember the guy's name who was head of the 40 posse, but he was already up here. And Delroy came up here and started taking shit and started running on his turf. And then them two started warring, but it wasn't good for business, so they stopped. But by that time, Brooklyn was, the DEA stepped in, the ATF stepped in because there was so many murders and so much drugs. So eventually, like I said, they caught him, gave him the seven life sentences. And I never knew that he wound up getting released from jail in 93. Well, in 93, he was offed in front of his house. I guess he was doing something in front of his house. People pull up, pow, 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 pow. So he died in 1993. I never knew that. I thought Delroy was still in jail. I didn't even know he got deported. But anyway, man, I just wanted to bring that because I seen it on YouTube, and it bugged me out, man, because I remember it. I was there. I lived through the whole shit. Our area, that Delroy dude, man, he was like a fucking legend. Yeah, niggas didn't fuck with him. He was a ruthless motherfucker. And that shit brought back a lot of memories, man. You know what I mean? How the block was just so infested with drugs, bro. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Man, it was some crazy times, man. Anyway, man, I just thought I'd bring y'all that story, man, because I thought it was interesting, man. I just wanted to get away from that Trump shit for a minute. So, you know, if you like if you like the content, man, please like, subscribe, comment. You know how we do it, man. Boogie's Place, Hood Talk. I'm out.